Welcome back to my channel. I mentioned previously that I wanted to do indie brands that I haven't really heard being talked about. So, I have a clear face today. Back to my little junky handheld mirror that I have that's from like the dollar store or something like that. And the palette I wanted to review was the Peachy Queen I'll Be There For You palette. I saw this all over Facebook, Trend Mood and everything. I don't know about everybody else, but I hadn't heard of Peachy Queen before, so I thought it would be a really, really great place to start. I haven't even opened it yet. And on top of that, who doesn't love Friends? I know a lot of comments have been made about the fact that a lot of stuff said on Friends wouldn't really fly today, but for the time, it was what it was, and I loved that show. So, I don't know if this is going to fold back really well, but hopefully you can see that pretty well. It's got Pivot, How You Doing, Oh My God, Smelly Cat, which I thought was yellower, Naked Guy, Moo Point, Days of Our Lives, Yemen, 7, I Got Off the Plane, Trifle, I think he says Trifle, We Were on a Break, Drink the Fat, which I would think Smelly Cat would be the yellower color, but not my palette. Central Perk, Frankie Says Relax, and Paleontologist. So once again, I have no makeup on, but I did prime my eyes with a little bit of concealer. I have here a whole mess of clean brushes. So we are just going to do two different eyes. Well, of course they're two different eyes. We're going to do two different color stories on both my eyes, just to kind of get an idea of whether or not this palette is really good. Because sometimes you'll get a palette where some of the colors are really, really great, and others not so much. So I really want to do, maybe I'll do one eye with How You Doing and Yemen. Those are what's calling out to me. And the other one may be Pivot and Paleontologist, because I do love my greens. And just kind of see how both of those work. See a little bit of different stuff. Because I want to get into the shimmers, which I have a good amount of shimmers and mattes here. And a lot of them look like they're plays off each other. Not all of them, obviously, but We Were on a Break looks like the shimmery version of Trifle, and Moo Point looks like the matte version of How You Doing. And I think that's really it, but you get the point. So, go in. First things first, get my little mini Luxie 213T. I got this from Ipsy with some of my points. And I'm just going to put Frankie Says Relax, this light brown one, in the crease on both my eyes, because it's looks like the best transition color that came in this palette, so I'm going to use it on both of them. And it doesn't really look like I put anything on there. So, okay, then we're going to move into Central Perk. Okay, that one's better. Although, I don't know how much better. So you guys let me know down below. It's a very cool brown, so it almost looks ashy. You guys let me know if this is something you would like to see continue on the channel. If this is something you're interested in. This palette did take quite a while to ship, which, I mean, isn't the most shocking thing in the world, considering it is an independent and, you know, they're doing their own thing. They probably don't have a whole slew of workers. They probably have some employees, but they don't have a whole slew of workers for them like some bigger companies. So it did take quite a while. So I would love to know your feedback if this is something you want to continue seeing. Because if it is, I'm going to have to order another one almost immediately because the turnaround time was not the best. So we're going to go in with, I think I said Paleontologist. This is such a pretty green. I hope that it looks good on the lid because it picked up pretty good on the brush there. It's so pretty in the palette. Okay, yeah. That's... wow. That is super pretty. Actually, that went on so well it went a little further than I intended it to. And then I think we're going to do, we could do Smelly Cat, which is a green, and I think would pair nicely with Paleontologist, but we're going to do mattes right now. So I'm going to go in with Naked Guy, which I think it's hilarious that Naked Guy is like a lime green. Not the color I would have necessarily expected. I think I would have expected Naked Guy to be one of the more neutral, almost skin tone, like the color that Frankie Says Relax is. I would more expect Naked Guy to be, because I don't know, I guess I just would expect Naked Guy to be kind of flesh colored. I don't love that transition, that Central Park is the transition color, but I do think all in all that all came out pretty pigmented. Like I said, y'all absolutely always let me know your opinions on anything and everything. But I'm definitely happy with Naked Guy and Paleontologist. I might end up going to another palette for the transition color, because I just think that that Central Park is something that would have looked better on the lid itself. Maybe as a lighter color in it, but it's our first time playing with the palette. We're seeing what it's going to do. So then I'm going to go in with this dark blue Yemen because, ooh, I stuck my finger right in Pivot and left a dent in it because on top of being a big nerd, I'm also a klutz. So that's lovely. But Yemen is such a pretty dark blue color. I really want to see if they did that well because it's just so gorgeous. And then we're going to pair it with the How You Doing just because gotta bring Joey into this. Gotta bring Joey into this. Who didn't love Joey? There's nobody who didn't love Joey. So... oh wow, that Yemen's really, really picking up on the brush, and it looks a lot almost purpley on the brush, more violet than it did in the palette. Wow. Things next to me are settling if you heard that noise. Okay, well that one, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a fair amount of fallout underneath from Yemen. It would definitely be a color you would have to do your eyes first before everything else, because you'd have to be able to clean this up. And I think you can see that pretty well. Hopefully there's a fair amount of fallout right there. It went on very pigmented, but I definitely look like somebody hit me. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when playing with it, is that this one's gonna be a little messy. Alright, going with the How You Doing, which again, wow. Wow. I know y'all are like, April, bigger vocabulary please, just stop saying wow over and over again. But you know, sometimes you get a palette and it looks gorgeous and then you put it on your brush and you're like, my brush still looks clean. So for this being, I think it was a $30 palette, and I think, if I remember correctly, that was after shipping and handling. They had a coupon code. I don't even remember what it was. I think Honey put it in, because I do use Honey. Obviously not sponsored, but I do use Honey for all my online shopping, and I think Honey found me a discount code. That's super pretty. This makes me just want to like take this off and do more of the colors and see how they would turn out, because that's just, I really like this. How you doing? Obviously, as I keep just like building and layering. Yeah, Yum is definitely a little messy. Requires a little bit of cleanup. Depending upon how well it cleans up, though, it might be worth it. Only time will tell. But like I said, I saw this, I kept seeing this everywhere, and I loved the fact that, I don't know if I can show you all this and block the mirror at the same time. At the top here, let's see if I'm doing an okay job. The top here it says Pivot, which I just loved that. And I loved that they had a color called Pivot. I loved that they were all references. And I loved that the front of it was Monica and Rachel's front door. I am a big terrible nerd when it comes to all things, pretty much. Yeah, it's got a little bit of kick up on it itself. Even the mirror is starting to get a little bit on it, but you know, you get that a lot of times with these softer eyeshadows. Okay, well, doing a little bit of swatching for y'all. But yeah, what I really wanted to find, and I have not been having any luck with, is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer palette, because I am the biggest Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, and that would be something really cool if I could find indie. So I just got some swatches on my arm here real quick, and we got Oh My God, which didn't turn out as great as I hoped it would, but we'll see what it looks like on the actual eye. Then we got Smelly Cat, Moo Point, Days of Our Lives, 7, Trifle, or Trifle, whichever it was, which is really, really pretty, a very corally color. We Were on a Break, and Drink the Fat. I wanted to call it Smelly Cat because I really think Smelly Cat should have been this almost pea yellow. So hopefully y'all were able to see that really well. I kind of want to swatch I got off the plane because Moo Point swatched so well. Okay, well that one's that's a little patchy. Trying to make sure y'all can see that. It's a little patchy, but browns are really hard is what I found. I go insane when I find a palette that can do a brown or a black well, because they seem to be the toughest pigments to make. So if I can find one that's great, I just cut side of myself in the mirror. But brown and black in particular just seem to be so hard for makeup companies to really tackle. So I will be playing with this some more, and I will absolutely be updating y'all on what my thoughts are. I'm super, super excited though to play with it, just based off the swatches, based off of what it did on my eyes. I can definitely see myself using Paleontologist, Naked Guy, 7, all those colors a lot because it's just really pretty. Yemen, I like. Only time will tell if I feel like it's actually worth the trouble of having to go back and clean it up afterwards. It's really pretty, but we shall see. That being said, that's our video for today. Please let me know how you feel about this one video a week for right now. Work has been crazy, but you know, I'm always looking for y'all's feedback. So let me know how you feel about one video a week. Let me know what you think of the I'll Be There For You palette. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those things I'm supposed to say. I don't even bother saying turn on notifications because let's face it, guys, it's one video a week. And if you care enough to be here, you're probably making sure you watch it. So thank you again. That being said, I'll see you in the next video.